The first card, I do know what I'm saying, but yes, I'm tired. The first card you have for your past is the Star. So yeah, there's hope in this card with this star. I'm seeing hope. Yeah, with this beautiful star in the background of this with this woman, and this might not have felt very beautiful to you, even though this is a beautiful star and a beautiful woman, because I'm actually seeing someone who you might not have wanted around you, you might not have wanted them to contact you, but they were trying to talk to you, or they were trying to contact you. And you might have been feeling a little bit vulnerable, actually. This woman's naked, and obviously she's by herself, so she might be vulnerable. I mean, if anyone was around watching her, she would be feeling quite vulnerable. And I think if this person was trying to contact you, which I'm seeing that they probably were, I'm not seeing you in any real danger or anything like that. But sometimes vulnerability is a feeling. It's kind of that horrible feeling that you get when you're getting some kind of unwanted attention. You know, when you've told someone that you want to be left alone and they don't listen, they just keep on. It's this really kind of unsettling feeling. It feels really off. It just doesn't feel good. So that's what I'm seeing. That's how you felt when this person was kind of trying to contact you. And I don't think you wanted to block them for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I'm not seeing you feeling happy, obviously, about this person contacting you at all. I just think that maybe you just didn't want to open yourself up to some old feelings again. So that makes me think that because you didn't want to go back again, they could have been someone from your past and they might have come back to contact you and you just didn't want to go back there. That's what I'm seeing. The next card you have, your past, is the Three of Cups. So yeah, I think you have been through a lot with this person, and I think this is probably an ex that I'm seeing. And I think at the beginning when you were with this person, it might have felt really amazing, actually. This is someone who I think might move quite quickly at the beginning of a relationship. They start to kind of make a move really quickly. They want to kind of go straight into being exclusive with you in a relationship when you've just kind of met them, for not very long. And they might have actually even overwhelmed you in the beginning. They probably made you feel really special, but they weren't very sober. I don't mean that literally. I don't mean that they were drunk. I mean that they weren't sober in their mind. They kind of got carried away in their head. And they brought you with them, probably. And, you're usually not the type of person who spontaneously jumps into things like this, but I think you did with them. I think they were quite kind of convincing and they had you caught up in this feeling around them. But then, obviously a lot happened after this early time that you spent with them. There was a lot of hurt, and I think you just couldn't come back from that hurt. You really had to be very, very careful of not putting your emotions above your mind, above logic. The three women in this card have their cups above their heads, so they're putting their cups, their emotions above their minds. And that's what you had to do. You had to make sure that you weren't going back there emotionally. You had to make sure that you were vigilant, that you had your mind clear, and that you were logical. You weren't kind of letting yourself get swept up into all these emotions again like you were at the beginning. That's what I'm seeing. So the last card you have for your past is the Two of Swords. So I think this person might have stopped contacting you for a while, but I think even though they were doing that, they were still thinking about you. That's what I'm seeing. They might still be thinking about you now. But, I think you probably told this person quite clearly that, you didn't want to go back to this hurt. And I think, you just don't want to go backwards again. But they didn't want to listen. They really didn't want to listen to what you were saying. And I don't think they came and contacted you again, even though they didn't want to listen to you. They were just in their mind about this. They were like, no, I still want you. That was what was in their mind. This woman has her eyes closed and she also has her ears covered. So her eyes and ears are both covered. And it's like she's saying, I don't want to listen, I don't want to hear what you're saying. And she's crossing her arms over her chest as well, over her heart. So she's kind of protecting her heart. She doesn't want to kind of she's kind of in denial about how you feel, how the other person feels, and this person was in denial about how you felt at this time. They were really conflicted, actually, and I think deep down they really knew that things weren't good between you. There are rocks on this card as well, in the water behind this woman, but she has her back to these rocks, so your emotions were rocky while you're with this person in this relationship, but they didn't want to acknowledge these things. They didn't want to remember any of the bad things. They had their heart and their mind set on the good things, and they wanted to revisit I'm trying to say, that again. So, but you didn't. You just didn't want to, and you told them that. Now, this might sound cruel and it might sound a bit hard, but it's not, because I think this person hurt you. I think they did hurt you at some time, and I think there were things that were said on both sides, because I'm looking at these two swords, so things were said on both sides. But I think you were really, really hurt, and you just couldn't even think about going back after some of the things that happened between you. Some of the things that they said, I mean, you said things too and you did things, but I think you couldn't go back with. There were some things that really stung, and I don't think you could go back after that. So the first card you have for your present is the Three of Swords, yes. So yeah, same thing again. I don't want to be repetitive, but I'm seeing the same thing. This was the heartbreak that you just don't want to go back to again. You didn't at that time, and you don't now. You just don't want to go back to this hurt again. I'm actually seeing that you might have actually gone back to them again. So you might have forgiven them once and gone back again. So you're with them once, you left, and then you went back again and forgave them again, and now you're out of again, and you don't want to go back for a third time, because there are Three Swords here. So you just do not want to go back a third time. You do not want to go back to this heartbreak again, because if you know that if you go back to this person, you'll just be heartbroken again. That's what I'm seeing. You don't want to do that again. I'm repeating myself, I know, I'm sorry. The next card you have for your present is the Hermit. So the Hermit's obviously about getting spiritual enlightenment. He goes off into the wilderness by himself. He follows his lantern, and he goes off and he gets this kind of enlightenment that he gets when he's by himself, by meditating or doing whatever he does. So I think this is what's happening to you at this time. I think you just need this time to get yourself back together again, taking care of yourself, taking time out to really think about yourself again, and really think about what you want for yourself, mentally, spiritually, and everything else physically. So yeah, you need this time. This is very important. And you might have some people around you telling you to kind of go out, do this, do that, start going here, do this, start dating, join this, join that, join this club. But you don't want to just mindlessly fill your head with things. You don't want to just fill your head with things so you forget about the past and this person in the past. You want to put higher things into your mind, spiritual things. This is a spiritual ascension that is starting off in this Hermit card that I'm seeing for you. You really want to know yourself. You want to know who you are. You want to know what you want to do. You want to know where you want to go, not only externally, where you want to go externally, but where you want to go internally, spiritually. So this is what you're searching for. And you will get there. You'll definitely get there. But you need to stay mindful of who you really are, and who you know, the person that you know yourself to be, not someone else's idea of who you are. That's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, I think if everything and everyone you choose to have around you enhances you, I think you'll definitely get there as well. Enlightenment can be a lonely road when you start off, but the people who choose to join you eventually will be the people who you truly know you can trust, and you truly know that they know you and accept you. Even if there aren't many of them, even if there's only one or two people, you'd rather have those people with you. They're the people who know you. You'd rather have them than 100 people who don't know you. That's what I'm seeing is happening here. So you are on this road, and this road's helping you to weed out the people that aren't right for you and to keep the people who are right for you. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have for your present is the Two of Wands. So yeah, in this process, you might be thinking about all the things you want to do. And I think one of these things might be traveling. I don't think you want to travel right away, but I think this is something that you're thinking about. And you might be planning this. So you might not be ready at this time-wise, or you might not be ready for this financially to do this yet. But I am getting the sense of you feeling a bit untied to where you are. You might even be feeling as if you don't have many roots where you are at this time. Yeah, there are two wands in this card, obviously, but neither of them are stuck to the ground. They're not rooted to the ground. They're not kind of stuck in the ground. One of them needs to be propped up by this man who's holding onto it, and the other one needs to be bolted to a wall. So that one can't stand up by itself either. And so keep on thinking about this, because when you come out of this hermit mode and you come back into the real world, you're going to be quite distracted by a lot of things that go on in the world, just like I am, you are, everyone is from the day to day. There are phones pinging, there is social media, there's things to look at, things that tell you what to do, movement, stuff around you all the time, wanting your attention. So I think before you go back into the world after this hermit mode time, write down everything you want to do. Definitely write down this traveling, where you want to go to, all of that kind of thing. Write down everything I'm seeing in the Hermit card, where you want to go, who you really are, where you want to be spiritually, who you are, what you want to do, all of that kind of thing. Write it all down. And then when you come out of that, with all these distractions, you can go back and you can refer to what you've written again, and that will help you to kind of stay on track. So the first card you have for your future is the Seven of Wands. So the other thing you might have to battle with when you come out of this hermit mode are some voices inside your head. That sounds as if I'm calling you crazy. I'm not calling you crazy, but you might get bogged down in some of the old thoughts and the old feelings that you had before. And of course, this is normal when you go back out of this hermit mode and back into your normal day-to-day life. But I just think, again, refer to what you've written down if you need to help you to keep on track. Make sure that you do write these things down and just keep referring. You might even want to keep it on your phone so it's easy for you to read. But keep going back on track. Keep getting yourself back on track. Don't kind of lose yourself into this kind of normal world that we have here. If that all makes sense to you, I hope it does. I'm also seeing that as you change your outlook, as you start to ascend spiritually, grow spiritually, there might be some people, I'm seeing family members actually, and they might be a bit negative about some of your views and the way that you see the world and things like that. So I'm just seeing you might be feeling at this time a little bit like this man actually, on your own, battling against a crowd. I'm not actually seeing anyone who's deliberately trying to battle you, or anyone who's deliberately trying to bring you down or bring your ideas down or anything like that. They might just not understand things the way you do. They might not have the same kind of knowledge that you do. And it might actually feel a lot worse to you than it actually is. But if this resonates, don't try to defend yourself, especially in front of a crowd, if that makes sense. Because I think if people want to speak to you individually about whatever it is that you're learning or you're doing, that's another thing. It means that they're truly interested in having a conversation without an audience. But if they just want to kind of laugh or bait you or say funny things in front of an audience, then they're not truly interested in what you're doing or anything about you. They just want a kind of a fun audience. They just want attention. So again, as I was seeing in the Hermit card, this is a process of seeing who truly wants to know you and understand you and who doesn't. So again, this is going to weed out one group of people from another one. That's what I'm seeing again. So the next card you have for your future is the Four of Swords. So yeah, this might be about this person, this ex or whoever this is in the Star card who was trying to contact you. I think they might be starting to realize at this time that it isn't going to happen now. You're not going to come back to them. And I think they're just going to be very quiet for a while. Of course, they're going to be upset when they come to this realization. But they're not going to make any problems. I think they're just going to quietly go off by themselves and think about this for a while. And they're going to be very contemplative, and I think they're just going to be trying to heal themselves for a while. They're still going to have a lot on their minds, a lot of of these problems on their minds, a lot of heavy energy with these swords that are hanging over their head like this man. But they're going to be going through their own process now, and of course it's not going to feel good for them when they're kind of realizing this and they're getting over this heartbreak. But I think deep down they know that they're going to have to go through this, and I think they know that it's for the best. And I think it is going to be good for them ultimately. They can't be stuck in the past. So yeah, they are moving forward now, I think, at this time. The last card you have for your future is the Eight of Cups. So yes, this might be it for them, finally it. They're finally going to be walking away, I think. And the cups on this card are forming a wall. It's like an emotional wall. And this is the wall that you've put there. You've put this wall there between you and them. You put that there a while ago. And I think they're realizing this isn't going to come down now. And they're just walking away. And yeah, of course, they're not going to be feeling super happy right now. This poor man who's walking away is hunched over, and there's a sad moon watching over him as well. But again, this is going to be for the best for everyone, for you and for them. And I think they're going to realize that in time, just like you did. They are going to eventually realize that.